Hey beautiful people, hey beautiful people, it is your girl Donna C. Shay Tara back at it again with another back at it again. OMG, welcome back to our second episode of Healing After Dark. How have you been? How are you? I have missed you guys and you're like, we just met. I know, but isn't it connecting? It's giving great vibes, it's giving great energy. I am so excited to be here with you guys again. I have been waiting to do this since last week, and I'm not gonna lie, at the last minute I almost fed into that storyline, you know, that little voice in the back of your head that tells you that you cannot, but I refuse to listen to it because we are on a new journey, we're on a new season, and we are going to work these things out together. I'm just being honest and being transparent with you guys. Just clearing on this camera alone takes so much out of me because there was a point in time in my journey where I didn't feel worth it. I didn't feel worth the gift that God gave me, but he gave me this gift, and he gave me this passion, he gave me this love, and he gave me this ability. So I'm just going to do what I can do and hope that you guys resonate with it, whoever is supposed to resonate with this. Okay, now last week I told y'all that unless God gave me another message, we will continue on with Job. So what had happened was God gave me another message. So we're going to put a pin in Job for now because that is my guy. And I feel like his story is not talked about enough. And I love Job. And we're going to go back to Job. And we're going to go back to Journyin with Job. The message that God gave me, the topic of conversation that I want to discuss with you guys is called I'm Not Moving. And the way that God kind of gave it to me. And when it comes down to the Bible scripture that we're going to be doing today, that's a little bit complicated. And let me tell you why it's complicated. Because there's so many stories. So I feel like there are so many directions that I could go with it. And we're going to explore a couple of them as much as ties into the trajectory of the conversation that we're going to have today. But like I said, the message is called I'm Not Moving. And the way that God gave it to me was the stubbornness that we have to have in order to move forward. There is a relentlessness that one must possess in order to position themselves for better. In order for me to position myself, I'll take care of something real quick, but I'm back. In order for me to position myself the way that I so desired in my life, I had to make, in a lot of ways, calculated decisions about who it is that I wanted to become. I had to decide if the path that I was traveling was worth the vision that I had. I had to pick a side with myself. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And I no longer wanted to be a double-minded man. But in order for me to have gotten there, I had to I'm trying to look for the right word. I had to become hell-bent on my better. I had to become unmovable, unshakable, unfallible in my faith, in my walk, in my talk, in every aspect of my life because it all mattered. And it got to the point where, and I'm still working through this, not gonna lie to you. It got to the point where the vision felt like it was too big. Where the battles that I was up against that were shaping me and molding me into the person that I was asking to become. That's the crazy part. We ask for certain things and then expect it to just be handed to us when in a lot of ways we are given tests and trials and tribulations to stretch and prune and prove ourselves in order to obtain that thing. So going through my process, I started to feel like maybe it's just too big. The vision is too wide. God, how can I carry this thing? How can you, I'm from the hood. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I was just chilling on the block with the homeboys. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was just kicking niggas' doors and my homeboy was putting a little tool in his face and we taking him for everything that we could find. You know what I'm saying? How can I birth such a thing. That was not the setup. And although you've always been right there, and although we've always had a vibe and we've always had a relationship, you know what I'm saying, my boy? But listen, this is a lot that you asking of me. And it's not that I don't think that I can do it. It's that, how can you find worth in me? How can you find worth in me? And how can I position myself so that I become unshakable? How can I not move? I don't want to move, God. I don't want to be moved. I don't want to be able to be swayed. I want to be able to stand firm in the vision that you gave me and the purpose that you gave me. When the trials come, I don't want to be tempted to go down the wrong way. How do I position myself with this thing that you have given to me? You say that I can have all things through Christ which strengthens me, and I can do all of these things, but how? How? And the story that he gave me, because like I said, it's multiple. Not my Bible. Y'all saw that, right? He thought he was going to get me. One of the stories that he gave me for not moving, it's a simple story, and it's a story that we all know. And it is found in Matthew 4, starting at verse 1. Then was Jesus led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city, and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple, and saith unto him, If thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Jesus said unto him, It is written again, Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. Again, the devil taketh him up into the exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them, and saith unto him, All these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Then saith Jesus unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. Now, we all know that story, I'm sure. And I was like thinking, why is this story so significant? But then I started thinking again, imagine Jesus in the desert, right? 40 days, 40 nights, no food, no water, chilling. Him, God. You know what I'm saying? Imagine the desperation. Have you ever been in a desperate situation? Have you ever been in a situation where it just feels like, yo, how am I going to get out of this? There ain't no way in hell that I'm going to be able to get out of this. There ain't no way in hell to be able to get out of this in a way that suits whatever timeline I'm up against. Ain't no way in hell I'm going to be able to get out of this and do it the right way. Do it the legal way. Do it the straight way. Do it the narrow way. You see what I'm saying? We have all been in desperate situations. At least I know I have. I know I've been in situations where I had to decide what I had to do and how I was going to get it done. And what I thought was a blessing, and in its own way it was, but again, it came as a tempter. I remember I was like 17 years old, y'all. And I was homeless when I was a teenager. I think I told y'all this story already. I was homeless throughout my whole high school year. Now, granted, a lot of my homelessness came by decisions that I made against the people who was helping me. And a lot of it just came against just not working. Energies just wasn't connecting, and disconnects needed to happen. At this particular time, it was just a disconnect that needed to happen, and it left me having to figure some shit out. So my homegirl, we was both in a situation. My homegirl was able to lay up with a D-boy real quick. Little young boy on the corner block real quick, getting his little money. She was able to throw a little pie. Number one, I don't really throw pie. I don't knock who you throw pie. If you throw pie, you throw pie. You know, get it how you live. That's how she was able to do it. Me, I had to find a different route because that wasn't my vibe. Not only is that not my vibe, that wasn't my vibe. You know what I'm saying? So the old head that was around, he fooled with me. He liked my mind, whatever the case may be. What he did was set me up out the projects where I live, down from Pennsylvania, from Harrisburg to be exact. So he set me out the projects. Now the place that he gave me access to was horrible. It was a bando. It was a trap house. It was where crack kids went to get high. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's real rap. And they wasn't there actively when I was there. Not saying that. It was just, that's the energy that the place was giving. But I was grateful because I didn't have anywhere to go. And it was a space that I could just come and just be by myself. I could cry. I could do whatever I needed to do and go about my business. But in exchange for that, I had to be posted up on one of his locations from a certain time frame or until all the product that I had on me that day was gone. I was in a desperate situation. Had I not been in that kind of situation, had I not been around in that kind of environment, I would have never made that kind of choice. But when you're in a desperate situation, you will make choices and decisions thinking that the vision that you see, the better that you seek, you are incapable of reaching. And I played that hand, and I played that card for a little bit, and I tried to live that lifestyle, and I tried to dibble and dabble, but that's not the path that God wanted me on, because the path that God wanted me on was the vision that he had given me. But in my mind, I'm like, yo, I'm in the desert, God. It's been more than 40 days, more than 40 nights, and I've been crying out, and I've been said, not your will, but not my will, but your will be done. How do I get out of the desert? How do I get out of the desert? And when the tempter came, see, this is the difference that separates us from Jesus. And I think that this is one thing that I'm learning, and it's not just Jesus. It's I don't care what your belief system is. It's the self-awareness to be able to know not only who you are, but who you are in God, to the point where I don't have to prove to you what God will do for me. I don't have to showcase to you what God has given me. I don't have to strip myself down in a way that I become recognizable to you, but unrecognizable to my God. Because I became unmovable in my spirit. I don't know really what's going on, and I don't understand how much longer I have to be here. But what I'm not finna do is jump off this rock. Just so you can have some type of proof. Just so you and your ego and the people that are just watching and talking and putting their 2 cents in place that doesn't belong can feel better about themselves. See, Jesus understood that. Jesus understood what it meant to be unmovable. He understood in that moment, oh, you try me. Oh, you think because I'm a little hungry, you know what I'm saying, I'm a little parched right now, that I'm finna just be like, you know what, you talking that stuff, my guy, let's go. No, I'm gonna stand right here, for it is written, man shall not live by bread alone. And the reason why I emphasize the it is written part is because as soon as you give way, as soon as you let the enemy know, your opposition, whatever is on the other side of where you're trying to get them, as soon as you make a decision, I'm no longer doing this thing, they come back with, well, if you do this thing, it's always, I just said I don't want to drink no more. Why are you sitting here telling me that Jesus turned water into wine? You know what I mean? Like, why are you trying to tempt me with the thing that I just said that I didn't want to do anymore? I just told you that I was no longer interested in taking that journey. But now you're trying to bring the journey to me, and I'm trying to understand what you're trying to get into. How are you trying to play this right now? Because I feel like you're trying to play me. And that's cool. That's cool. That's your choice. That's your business. But I just want to know how to move forward and navigate through this situation. Just for my own notes. For my own notes. And that's what happens. Sometimes we will tell the person, it is written. I already told you. This ain't going, this ain't that, this ain't. And they will come back with a different side. They will flip it around on you. And that's what I call gaslighting. Ladies and gentlemen, that's gaslighting. It's written though. You telling me it's written. I'm letting you know it is written that if you do A, B, C, that this is going to happen. And that may be very true. But it is also written, because we have to have clauses to our clauses. And that's why I love that back and forth that they did, because it gave clause to the clause. So you thought you knew something, but there was a piece of information that you was lacking. And because you were lacking that information, you didn't see the full picture. Now that you see the full picture, the devil had to depart from Jesus' presence, because it is written. It is written. We forget that our lives were predestined. Before he formed us in our mother's womb, he had a calling on our lives. A calling, a natural born instinct that each one of us has. That thing that we know that if we just stuck to it, we could birth it in a way that will cause wreck to the atmosphere. And I'm unmovable. Not because I want to be, not because I always believe it, not because I always see it, but because God gave it to me and I have to push forth even when I don't want to. Even when I don't believe, even when I don't understand, even when I don't have the answer, even when I don't have the energy, sometimes I have to. I have to, because this is my fight. This is my fight for my life. I'm fighting for my life. Every time I turn this camera on, I'm fighting for my life. Every moment that I sit here in this chair, I'm fighting for my life. Every post, I'm fighting every word that I write. I'm fighting every person that I connect for. I'm fighting for my life, because once upon a time, this was just a vision. This was just a vision. I was just in the desert, y'all. 40 days, 40 nights, he tempted me. He still tempted me, but there's decisions that you have to make, for it is written. That's not enough for y'all. Let's jump over real quick, because another story, another angle that I enjoyed comes out of 1 Samuel. Goodness gracious. And we want to start one place to give you a little background. And then we're going to go into another. The Lord called Sane. Saul chosen king. I think it was in Deuteronomy, actually, where Saul got blessed. Birth of Samuel. The Lord called Sane, son of Eli's son. Sorry, y'all, hold on. So, the story that I want to get into is David. And I found it. It is 1 Samuel 16. And it is the story of after Saul. This is before Saul became Paul. Okay, this is when Saul was killing all of the Lord's followers. And he was supposed to become the king of Israel, right? But he started tripping. So God had to, snatch that title away from him. And so he chose somebody else to take over the position. And the person that he chose was David. Now, we all know David. David's that guy that shot Goliath in the eye with a slingshot. A real one. But before David became David, David was just, what's his dad? Jesse's son. And the reason why this story was stood out to me, and God gave me the vision for it, was sometimes God will place you in rooms that you are meant to take over. And the room will know you before you even know you. And that came from, imagine being David, right? He has 8 brothers and sisters. 8 brothers, right? There's several sons. He has 7 other brothers, right? And God sends Samuel up to Jesse, which is David's dad, sends him over to his lamb, collects the sons, brings them up to the mountain, blesses them. David comes up. He brings up the first of the eldest sons. He's like, do you have another son? This is Samuel to Jesse. Do you got another son? He's like, yeah, my youngest, but he tends the sheep. So he said, bring forth your youngest, right? So David comes forth, and God tells Samuel, this is the one. This is who I want. You feel me? And verse, what is this? In verse 7, okay, 1 Samuel 16, verse 7, he said, but the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance, or even on the height, for the Lord seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. And the reason why that was so significant for this message was because sometimes we don't believe what we're capable of because we don't look like the mold of what we've been shown it is. And I'm speaking from my own journey. Yeah, it's personal. It's personal tonight. One of the reasons why I was so hesitant to pursue this, to do this, to have this ratchet ass Bible study, right, was because I don't look like people who talk like the Bible. I don't sound like people who talk like the Bible. I don't move like people who talk like the Bible. I don't live a lifestyle like people who we're used to seeing talking about the Bible. And it's not to say my lifestyle crazy. It's just to say I'm me. And for a long time, I felt ashamed of my love for God because I'm me. I love trap music in real life. In my mind, when I put Kevin Gates on, I'm about to pick up the, you know what I'm saying, the delivery. We about to go to Mexico, take a trip real quick. You feel me? Like, that's how I operate. And I don't think it's neither good nor bad because I'm not looking out, you know, to harm somebody or take somebody's life or maneuver in that kind of lifestyle. But I'm also not looking to conform who I am to be accepted by this idea of what a community looks like. God is everywhere and in everything. He is the creator. He is the beginning and the end. He is the destroyer. He is everything. Everything. And there is no version of this world under his love doesn't have to look or sound a certain kind of way for the message to resonate. Whatever it is that you are wanting to do, whatever business you want to do, whatever book it is that you are waiting to produce, whatever you are trying to birth, but you keep telling yourself, I don't look like, I don't sound like, I don't have all the things I can, become unmovable. I don't care how it looks. I don't care how it sounds. I don't care if I don't come across the correct way or this kind of way. I am doing what is inside of me the best way that I know how. And over time I will evolve and over time I will grow. But right now I'm starting where I until God shows forth his power. I'm not moving until what he gave me in a vision comes to life. I'm not moving because he didn't just give it inside of me for no reason. I'm not moving until my family is okay. I'm not moving. I'm not moving. I'm not moving. I'm not moving I'm not moving. I'm unmovable. I'm unshakable. See, when Jesus was in the desert, he was unmovable. He was unshakable. And yes, in his spirit, he was probably broken. Have you ever been broken? Have you ever just been down to the point where you couldn't even get up? The enemy was moving him. Jesus wasn't walking to these locations. The enemy was popping him here and popping him there. He didn't have it in him. He was a hungered. He was a hungered, but he was unmovable. He was unmovable. You can do what you want to this body. I don't care. I'm unmovable in my spirit. I made a decision. I told God, this one, give me one more chance. Trust me with the vision. One more time, God. I will bring it to pass. I will birth it. I will stick to it. Even if I don't feel like it, God, I know that I struggle with my worth. I know that I struggle with how I see. I know that my anxiety sometimes talks crazy to me, God, but I'm going to show up. I'm going I can because I'm unmovable. I'm unmovable. I don't care. The enemy can show me the highest of heights. I don't want it. Because I know once I take this thing, I'm going to be movable. Now my spirit is going to be shifting. It's going to be bouncing all over the places. It's going to be attaching itself to energies and places that doesn't feed it. That doesn't feed it, but feeds off of it. Now I'm hungered in a way that I can't feed at all. Now I'm thirsting for things that can't be quenched. Because I became movable. Because I didn't believe. Because I didn't receive. Because I didn't move forth. Because I allowed the enemy to take me up and I took the cities. Not knowing that they were built on sand. Like David, I was looking too much like the outward man like Samuel was to David. He is but a boy. He's but a boy is what Samuel was probably thinking. He's a child. How can this child become the king of Israel? How can he take over for Saul? How can this be true? God looks on the heart. Man looks on the outward appearance. Man can be moved by what they see. Man can be tricked by what they hear. But God sees our hearts. God sees our spirits. God knows our minds. I don't have to try in his presence. I don't have to be in his presence. I just am. Because I am that I am exists inside of me. And even with knowing the blessing that was on David's life, David knew what God spoke over his life. David knew. So later in the chapter, after God blesses him, Saul hears about David. One of his people in his court tell him, oh, you want a little musician? I got this little gig, this little young boy out the way, know how to play the harp real good. This is what I meant by God will put you in the rooms that you are meant to take over. See, to Saul, he was just a harp player. To God, he was the next king walking into his home. And David knew the blessing. Again, David knew the blessing, but he still walked into that palace and played that harp. The Spirit of God was so strong on David that he got favored. You ever been blessed in situations that you don't even know how you ended up in? Whether good or bad, whether perceived good or bad. Have you ever been blessed in situations that, listen, I was homeless, sleeping in my car, right? And I was in a parking lot, and I was stuck in a parking lot, right? I didn't have no money, didn't have nobody to call on. Nobody but God. And out of nowhere, this homeless man, and he was like tripped out, like he had hit a wrong kind of blunt or something. So he was tripped out, didn't talk. Just was sitting there in front of the McDonald's for days. You know what I'm saying? I see him. He see us. He see me. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting in my car every day, just chilling. You know, turning the car on when I can because it's cold a little bit where I was at night. You know what I mean? So turning the car on when I can. And one day he comes over and brings food and $20. This man more homeless than me. By the looks of it, this man is more broken than me. And yet, something, didn't ask, wasn't out there asking, wasn't my vibe. Something inside of him chose to bless me. So when people say God isn't real, you have never been broken before. To the point where you don't have no choice but to believe in something bigger. You have never made realizations of your blessings before. To understand that there's something bigger than us, than this, than you, than me at work here. And when we adhere to that energy, when we understand, there is somebody out here who got my back for real. For real. We become unmovable. There's been so many instances in my life where I promise you, I did not think I was going to make it out alive. And it was in those moments that I became unmovable in my faith. I don't care what it looks like. I'm unmovable because I survived that. I survived that path. I survived that journey. I allowed God to pull me through this. I had to become unmovable because somebody, something wanted my soul. Wanted my soul. You have to make a decision on the better that you desire. We have to not be so disillusioned by the things of comfort that we are so easily handed on a day-to-day basis in this world. They serve nothing. They serve nothing. Nothing. And it may not always make sense. And it may not always feel good. But we have to be unmovable in pursuit of our healing. You have to make the hard decisions, the disconnects, the movaways, the not answering the phones, the not going to the places, because there is a shift that needs to take place. We need to become unmovable. I'm not moving. I'm not moving. You told me thy rod and thy cat, they staff, they comfort me. I'm not moving. You told me weeping will endure for a night, but joy will come in the morning. I'm not moving. I was the head and not the tail. I'm not moving. You told me greater is he that is in me. I want to sit right here in my desert, wherever my desert is, and I'm going to be tempted and I'm going to be tried, but I'm not moving. I'm not moving. I'm not moving because there's something greater on the other side. There's something bigger on the other side. There's something more powerful on the other side. Till I have it in my hand. I'm not moving. I'm not moving. I'm going to stand right here on the promises. And I'm going to do my work because faith without works is dead. I'm going to do my work and I'm not moving. And I'm not moving. I'm not moving, God. I don't care how long I have to wait. I'm not moving. I don't care what I have to go through, what I have to grow through. I'm not moving. Expose my heart to me, God. Show me more of me, God, so that I can be closer to you. exposing me the ways that are blocking me from being closer to you. God, heal my territory so that when my feet tread, I see the snakes in the grass and I don't be bit by them. God, I'm not moving. 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 We have to become unmovable, unshakable in the pursuit of our better. I don't care what somebody says, what they did, how they made you feel, baby. Shake it off and become unshakable for what you are going after. The everyday mundanities matter not. I promise you, in the long run, you will be proud of what you didn't feed into as opposed to the things that you did. I promise you, and this is coming from me. And if you know me, then you know what the heck I'm talking about. I'm not moving. I'm not moving. And neither are you moving forward. Neither are you moving forward. I believe it for you. I believe it for me. I believe it for us. We are becoming and we are unmovable. Unmovable in our healing. Unmovable in our betters. Unmovable in our visions. Unmovable for our dreams. Unmovable for our goals. Unmovable. Okay. I'm so happy that you guys decided to join tonight. I hope that we gave good vibes. I hope we gave good energies. I hope that you go off and you become unmovable and unshakable in yourselves and in your visions and in your healing and in pursuit of your better. We are more than conquerors. Believe that. And greater is he that is within us than he that is in this world. And I don't care what you sound like, what it look like. Start that vision. Start that business. Write that book. Deliver that message. However the fuck you feel free to do, okay? Because that's your business, like Auntie Tabby's saying, okay? And whatever God gave to you, it is up to you to birth. So please like, comment, subscribe, follow, share. Come follow us on Instagram. Come find us on Facebook. Come find us on TikTok. Now our TikTok is just for giggles, just for giggles. Don't be coming there being serious. It's giggles on TikTok, okay? So just come enjoy the tribe, enjoy our journey. Come heal with us, come grow with us, come become with us. That's all we're here to do. I don't care if you had to roll up, if you have to pour up, if you had to charge your vape up to be here with us. I am just so happy that you showed up. And I will see you guys after the new year. We're going to take a little break next week. And we might have a surprise when my mama come in. A nice little special episode with my mama. Yeah, it's a vibe. I'm so excited about that because I think it will bring so much healing, so much that the mother-daughter dynamic that me and my mama have. I really, really love right now where we are in our journey. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. I cannot wait to see you guys. We will be back January 6th. I pray that you have a beautiful and a happy and a memorable and a merry Christmas and an amazing new year. And don't become movable. Bye.